All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. Um, what I want to talk about today is what's going on with cryptocurrency. Um, Digital assets, especially now during this pandemic or post-pandemic or whatever, wherever what phase we're in right now. Basically, it became a lot more prevalent and it got more enhanced that digital assets were not going away. Okay, they're more in your face now than ever. Look at just the rise of Bitcoin since Christmas and what has transpired there, and basically what is transpiring with other digital assets, and how we're in a digital economy. Okay, retail has transitioned over time, and more so now than before, from brick and mortar to digital. Okay, you have a lot more stores, a lot more brands, national brands, international brands that are doing more online sales. Does that mean that the brick and mortar is going to go away? No, but it's not going to be as dominant as it once was. And what's going to wind up happening is that you're going to have your commercial real estate that's going to wind up suffering. You're going to hear a lot of things out there, basically from the powers that be or the ones that are leading the charge in the commercial real estate arena, that it's not that bad. The thing is, it is that bad. When you begin to realize that you don't need to have 30,000 stores or 30,000 or 3,000 or three stores, and you can still have the same revenue flow, you start looking at things business wise. What does that mean? What does that mean? If you have less of an overhead, your margins increase. You're making more money. So for public companies, it's a good thing. It brings more money to the table. Investors see it, provides growth. Again, I don't think the brick and mortar is going to go away, but I think that if you take a page out of Starbucks and what they've done a long time ago, with basically increasing their market share in a particular market, was open up a lot of stores, a lot of locations, and systematically shut them down so that people got familiar with Starbucks and basically would want to use it more, or have their products and go to the place and go out of their way to spend $5 on a latte. That was their marketing plan, and it worked. But Bitcoin, okay, we've seen that fly. It went from where years ago it was pennies, and it went into the thousands, and it went to the tens of thousands, and it's just interesting how more so this is becoming the staple for what's going to be. All right, when you have cryptocurrencies that have a utility, they have a purpose. These are the ones that are going to flourish. You have other cryptos that are out there where people just issue them and they hope for the best. There's nothing further that goes into it other than that. Okay, they go on their secret secure platforms, they speak it to each other, and they promote it, and they do whatever they need to do. The bottom line is, if you have something that has a utility, it's gonna be embraced a lot more, and you'll have more legs, and you have scalability and a future with it. I with cryptocurrency, again, when you're in a digital world, you have to look at the big picture, not just the United States. Okay, look at the big picture worldwide. There are a lot of people out there that are in third world countries that don't have access to digital currency. It's hard for them to move money around. They don't have access to a bank. Let me put it that way. Let me just erase all that. They don't have access to a bank. So how do they go and they send money or they receive money? They're using a Western Union. They're using a MoneyGram. They're using these high rate platforms, these banking systems that charge crazy amount of money to send money, that really for them, it's just a matter of a transfer. Of course, they have to go pay their fees, and they have to make their money. But again, it's a lot of money to send even $100 is it's going to cost you probably about 10-15% extra just to send that money. So the advent of digital assets makes it easier for people to move money around. I think you're going to see a lot more of this. I think that as more people, as 5G rolls out, you're going to have more people that will have access to mobile devices. In some countries, let's say for Africa, and West Africa, a lot of their communication is just through mobile connectivity, and that's it. They don't have access to much more. So, having their phone, that's like their wallet, that's like their lifeline, that's like their computer, that's like everything. So giving them the ability to have a digital asset and be able to do things on a peer-to-peer basis is pretty cool. And it gives them freedom. Okay, if you have access to capital, if you have access to your money on the fly, and it doesn't, you're not paying for the privilege of doing it. Okay, it's a good thing for countries that don't have ready access to a bank. Not everyone does, and then also opening a bank account could be ridiculous. And then also, what's the minimum that you have to keep there? If you have a digital asset, you can have $1 there, $1 US, and you can still do some sort of trade with it. I think that, and there's a big thing with Bitcoin is a decentralized system. Everybody knows this. People think that being decentralized is the end all of everything. Give power back to the people. The problem with it is that governments aren't going to bend to that. You cannot have the utility that you want having a decentralized system. Who's watching the store? Where's the utility coming in? How is that working? Centralized systems do serve a purpose, and I think that there's going to be a balance of decentralized and centralized systems out there. As long as the utility is there, it becomes a win. You see a lot of different projects that are going on out there. Some take a little longer to come forward than others. But at the end of the day, if you're doing something for the right reasons, it may take a little longer, but it's well worth it at the end of the day, because you'll have something that can have legs, that can be there, that's scalable, that can be there for the next iteration of whatever. And again, having that mobility and that access to your capital is important. Diversification. You see a lot of, in the world of commodities. Okay, I'm not talking about stocks, commodities. You have, corn, gold, silver, steel. You have all these commodities that are traded. They trade options on it daily. It's like ridiculous. They're treating, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a commodity. They can't look at it as a as a currency, because then other regulations will come into play with that. So I think that there's going to be some sort of evolution of sorts with that, because they want to keep things as honest as they can. And with Bitcoin, way back when, you had a handful of people that owned the majority of it. Okay, now where does that lie? Who knows? You have so much Bitcoin out there, and wallets that were forgotten a long time ago, and probably in the hundreds of millions, if not into the billions of dollars of lost assets. And that just continues to push up, supply and demand, push up the demand for Bitcoin. And the reason why Bitcoin has this major demand, and the reason why it's at 30, 35, whatever $1,000, and it continues to bounce up and down, the reason is that you don't have a lot of it out there. You think that you do, you really don't. So at the end of the day, if people want it, they're seeing the future. So this is the future, guys. You have to look at what is out there and what is going to happen later. Okay, and digital. We're in a digital economy. It's just getting more enhanced. This pandemic pushed it to the limit. 2021, you're going to see a lot of this happening. Look at what we're doing here on Vero. We're doing this. We're people have access to communicating, okay, on the fly, utilizing their phones and other applications and so on and so forth. We're in a digital world. and it's just going to get more enhanced. I'm telling you this. Okay, from AI and other robotics and in all industries, manufacturing, medical, everything. You're going to see in finance more of that happening. The machine learning is going to really, be a big part of everything. Data sets, big data, and all this stuff's going to happen. So again, cryptocurrencies are part of this. All right. People mistake blockchain for cryptocurrencies. Two different things. Cryptocurrency is built on blockchain. That's the way it is. Blockchain is not crypto. Crypto is built on blockchain. Blockchain can be utilized in a number of ways. Even here on Vero, on some of our system, blockchain is enabled for security purposes. So, there's a big need for all this stuff. The ease of access to digital assets is what's going to continue to push it. 5G, and as the big companies go out there and they promote, and as Elon Musk is sending rockets into outer space, as Google is trying to get everybody connected, as Facebook is trying to get everybody connected, and everybody's trying to get everybody connected, they're going to make the world a smaller place. People even in the bush will have a mobile phone. They'll be able to stay connected. It won't be utilizing satellite phones because that's the only way you can communicate with people. The world is changing, people. The world is changing. Be a part of it. If you're involved in any type of digital asset, just make sure it's for you. Just make sure it's for you. Not everyone can stomach the swings, the volatile swings, but if there's a utility and there's a project there and there's something that can be greater than what it is, then it's a win. It's a win. But again, just keep in mind with everything you're doing, and even if you're looking at stocks, you're looking at different types of investments and things of that nature, look at what is in front of you. We're in a digital economy. We're in a digital world. We're just ramping up. This is just the beginning of it all. This is just the beginning, and it's funny how people think that it's a fad. It's not a fad. They thought the TV was a fad. They thought the people that had that horse and buggies thought the car was a fad. Okay, Rockefeller thought electricity was a fad. And look at us now. Okay, so keep in mind, we're in a digital economy. Look for those opportunities. They're going to come at you, and it's going to be well worth it for you to really look at what the future potential of these opportunities are. Okay, and that's it for this episode of Money Never Sleeps. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to be back with you for another episode in the very near future. Right now, I'm just a little busy with things, but I have to try to keep up with this because I enjoy it, and I enjoy sharing my views with those that are listening. All right, you guys enjoy, and thank you very much.